Hi everyone. So in this video, I want to show you how you can check for alignment inside of a design. As you know, alignment basically says that nothing is placed on a screen at random, that it's somehow connected to something else. And out of all the principles that you'll learn about, I would say that if you can learn to understand alignment early on, it will help you to create very sharp and professional designs and have them look very structured. If you notice this particular design, notice how clean and structured it feels because there's a lot of alignment going on. And so one of the ways that we can test alignment is by using our guides. So for example, if I were to click over here on the left side, I can pull out a guide to sort of see how things are lining up inside this ad. So obviously, look, you've got the top logo up there. You've got this piece up here is aligned with the dots underneath it, as well as the bar right here, as well as the photograph and this gray box down here. So all those elements are aligned on the left side, okay, creating a very structured and even if it's invisible, you can almost see how you could draw a line across all the left side of those and they would align up. Same thing if we come over here, the left edge of this photograph is aligned with the left edge of the text, vice versa. Now, if we come over here and pull a top guide down, we can see that this headline text is actually is center aligned between the top of this gray bar and the bottom of it. Okay, has the same amount of space between the top of the M and the bar as between the baseline of the text and the bottom of that bar. Same thing over here. This headline is aligned with the top of the graphic to the left, so it's top aligned. And if we look at this paragraph down here at the bottom, we can see that it's left aligned with the left edge of the dots up here. Again, creating a very structured feel. Now, the other thing to note about this text down here at the bottom is that you have equal amount of space between the top of this text and the box underneath it. The same amount of space there exists on the side as well as on the bottom. This creates a very nice flow around. And this is another thing I would really recommend that you learn how to balance is that issue of spacing. Okay, creates a very nice feel. And if we look finally over here at this far side, you can tell that the right edge of this orange box is aligned with the right edge of both the photograph and the text. And if we come to the second page, same thing. You kind of see how everything is perfectly aligned up where things connect. We have a nice edge right there. This is all lined up based upon their left edges, as well across the top. And again, if we draw guides, you'd be able to see all this. But another way that you can test for alignment, so for example, if we were to select this photograph and look at this one underneath it, at this yellow box, what we can do is we can look at the X and Y values. So for example, notice over here, the X value deals with left and right. And so if we select anything over here as its reference point, this is, again, lining up with the points on the photograph. It's these three. You'll notice that right now, the left edge of this photograph sits at 0.7233. And if I select the yellow box underneath it, the left edge of the box sits at 0.7233. So they're aligned as well as this particular photograph. So they're all sitting at that same reference point. This is why this particular tool can be very helpful along with the principles of alignment. Same thing with this text box. If I wanted to, I could verify that it's matched up with the alignment of the one above it. So I can select this text box. The left edge of that text box is at 3.13. If I select that one, it's at the exact same. And then finally for this text box over here, again, it's aligned up with the top edge to create a perfect line. Well, that's sitting at, so again, if I got any point selected on the top edge, if we're dealing with up and down, we're looking at the Y value, so that's 3.25. If I select that, it also sits at 3.25. So again, a couple different ways that you can test for that alignment just to kind of verify that things are in fact perfectly aligned. Now, if you wanted to, the last thing is if you are moving an element, let me show you something here. Zoom in. So let's say that we are placing this particular element onto the page and we need to line it up. Okay. So right now you can tell it's not aligned with the top or with the text up here. So if you go up to view, make sure that you have your smart guides turned on. Come down to grids and guides. Make sure that your smart guides are turned on, and you can also do snap to guides if you like. So as you move an element, here's what those smart guides do. You'll notice I'm getting this green line. As I align this box, notice how I've got that green line going across and it's lining up with the text box on the right. That indicates my smart guide is telling me that, hey, the top of your box is in alignment with the object on the right side. And if I pull it over, you're going to see those arrows. Those arrows are indicating that I have an equal amount of space between the object on the right as well as the object on the left, which is currently the photograph. And if I let go, we can always test those numbers. So again, it's at 3.25. That's at 3.25. If I select the object up here, it's at 3.13. And that's also sitting at 3.13. All right, let's do one more. So let's say that this was out of alignment. I was going to put it in place. So if I bring this over, you're going to notice it's going to show me that, hey, if I put it right here, it's in alignment with the object above. And I can drop it right there. Now I can also keep pulling it over to watch the next guide. So that next guide, that vertical guide, it's lining up with the right edge of the photograph. So I could place it there. Now the other thing to notice is, notice right in the center, I'm getting this green line as well. That's letting you know that it's aligning itself to the center of the object underneath it. And so if I let it go, you can now see it's lined up with the left edge, and I have the same amount of space on the top as I do on the bottom. Okay, so those smart guides can be very helpful if you have them turned on. Anyway, that kind of gives you a couple different ways to sort of test for alignment inside of your document in order to help create that very clean and structured overall look and feel.